I want to talk about leaving. I think it was 6 months or 8 months or 9 months ago that I made a video where I came home from a get-together we had at work, where during the dinner, after we had eaten, I kind of ducked out. I just kind of left without saying anything, and I had one of those moments today again at an after-work thingy that we have on Fridays. Even though there were several people that I don't get to see very often present, but I often find myself in situations where I feel like I'm an extra. I'm there and I take up space, but I'm not participating. It's almost like everyone else has someone else that they would rather talk to, which is, normal, sure. But it does get me thinking, growing up. I thought about this on the way home. When I grew up as a kid, I didn't have friends. I built my Lego. I often kept to myself. I didn't have anyone my age living in the area where I lived, whereas everyone else in the class basically grew up in the same neighborhood. And I often find myself in those in between chairs kind of moments, which is weird because, I was very much a loner in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh grade, and then almost like as a self-defense mechanism, I started utilizing my comedy, my humor, getting people to laugh as a way to participate. And I've talked about this before as well, that the problem with doing that is that you will be considered a clown, and you will be considered someone that you don't really take seriously. And at the same time, as a person, I have this side where I open up a lot. So this contrast between this very extrovert version of me and this introvert version of me, the one I had for many years as a kid, those two clash when I end up in situations like these. And it's not like it's every time, For example, if I had sat down next to someone that I hadn't seen in a while and we would have gotten into a discussion, I would probably have been one of those that was kind of like, all over the place and kind of leading the discussion and stuff. But now I ended up on the sidelines, and I just sat there, and all I could think about was, how can I make myself look occupied, or how can I make myself look like I'm participating in something without anyone looking at me thinking, why is he sitting there all alone? Why is he pathetic? And much like that last time, I ducked out. I mean, the problem was that my jacket and my bag was quite close to where I was, but I needed to go over there to grab it, and that would obviously be a cue if anyone saw me that I was leaving. And it's not like I wanted to say, hey guys, I'm tired, I'm gonna go home, because I don't like to lie. And instead, I don't know, I don't want to play the martyr, but I'll just leave, and they won't notice. And obviously some people did notice, and one of my friends texted me and just asked me, where did you go? And I said, I just didn't feel like it today. It was one of those days. And my friend was like, sorry that we made you feel like that. And then I replied, it's not the puzzle's fault that the piece is not fitting. And it's cool, because I just made a decision that I would rather just leave and risk getting the questions or risk being seen as rude, as opposed to sitting there and mentally just suffer. And growing up without any real friends, a lot of acquaintances, but no real friends, I think it does something to you, because You don't get that normal upbringing where you learn the trade. You learn the cues of do's and don'ts, which sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes put me in a situation where I might be a little socially clumsy, but most of the time I often feel like the Whitlam song, second best. If there's someone else, then they would rather go with that person. And then in other situations, I am full-on extrovert. So it's one of those insecurities within me that I just need to learn how to handle, and not just see myself as some kind of martyr, and not, one of those, I'm going to show everyone, I'm going to show all of you. It's not one of those. It's just, I just don't like feeling that way. I don't like feeling left out, even though it's not their fault. The feeling is inside of me, and I could choose to say something, but I'm not going to stand up while people are celebrating the end of the week and say, I feel like shit. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to grab an ice cream and I'll keep watching a Netflix show until my wife comes home in like an hour or so. I just felt like sharing, in case anyone else out there feel the way that I feel. Then know for a fact that even though this extrovert face, this screaming and jumping and laughing guy on YouTube under the Swedish lad, also has these moments of insecurities and struggling to understand what part, if any, I play in this world. Good talk.